Good morning and welcome to this edition of the Frost Jazz Hour right here on WDNA's 88.9 FM, the home of serious jazz. I'm your host, Marcello Corelli, and welcome back to this week's show. Last week we heard from the Connor Rohr Trio, which I was grateful to be a part of, with Mike Ramos on bass. This week we have a special treat, especially with our drummer coming back from being home for a while. So we have the Leo Folsom Trio, and he's gonna premiere some of his original compositions and play some ones that he's played before. But it's gonna be a special treat because this is Mikhailo Kasha's first radio show as well, and he's on bass, Bram Masla on drums, and Leo on piano. So we look forward to the set. And without any further introduction, the Leo Folsom Trio. Killing. Yeah, that was you've heard from the Leo Folsom trio if you just started tuning in. I'm not gonna interview you yet, but what was that first tune? That was great. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, so that first tune was actually a song that I just recently wrote, maybe in the last 2 weeks, and it was inspired by a favorite restaurant of mine.
Okay.
And the title of that one is called Ace, which stands for All You Can Eat. And the idea behind it is that every solo gets a little bit slower, as if you're at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Every time you go back to the line, you slow down just a little bit more. Anyway, so it's just a little fun tune, just a little swinger, with some little funky time changes during the solos. But I hope you enjoyed that one. That one's called Ace. And the next one we're going to be playing is another new tune of mine, which, again, most of these tunes I've written in the last couple months or so, with the exception of one or two. And this next one is a tune that I like to call Private Ground.
Yeah, man. Take it away. beautiful tune, man. Wow, really nice. Yeah, I love those the first 4 bars, especially like the harmony and everything, where it resolves and stuff. Yeah, what were those first 4 chords, man? Nice. Maybe you shouldn't give it away because then people will take it. It was so good. But yeah, you don't have
I'll
to.
hip you to it after.
Okay, sweet.
After the camera's off.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, we don't have a lot of time before the break, but man, I wanted to ask you what your composing process is like, because you're really a great composer, and all your tunes have different vibes to them, and they come from different places around the world too, influential, So yeah, what's your process like?
I think it really depends on how I'm feeling in the moment. Oftentimes, my process looks like me pacing around my room like a madman, singing into my phone. That's like what a lot of it is. And then I will oftentimes just sit down and transcribe what I've sung. A lot of my writing doesn't happen at the piano necessarily, and then I'll figure stuff out at the piano. And once I have like an idea that's kind of like cemented, then I spend time at the piano fleshing out harmony and thinking about kind of how I want certain things to go. So a lot of it is just me walking around singing. And sometimes I'll be biking. I find that when I'm doing something kind of physically active, I do a lot of my writing. So I'll come up with ideas when I'm biking, and then I'll stop on the side of the road and like sing into my phone or whatever it is. A couple of these tunes actually, I for a little while I was into trying to meditate on the piano, and so I would try and meditate and just do free improv and record myself for like half an hour, and then listen back through and find anything that I liked and write that down. So one of these tunes, the idea of it came from just like a session of me just sitting at the piano and improvising, trying to be as creative as possible and
That's great, man.
not fall into my normal habits.
Sure.
But yeah, really, it depends on how I'm feeling or what I'm going for. These tunes are kind of, a lot of the music I write is not really acoustic piano trio. And so a number of these tunes I had in mind that I wanted to write jazz-influenced piano trio tunes. And the influence of other parts of the world, I think, just comes from what I'm listening to at the moment.
Sure.
And that one was like a samba, and I've been listening to a lot of Chico Pinheiro and other amazing Brazilian musicians. And so I think I've been trying to dig a little bit into that, which was kind of what that last one came from, maybe a little bit, the inspiration for that.
Cool. Yeah. It really felt nice too, the group sound. Is this the first time that the three of you have played together?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
You can't tell at all. Y'all have a vibe. It's good. So I've really enjoyed it so far, and I can agree with you about writing tunes while doing other things like being active. I write most of my tunes when I'm going on walks and sort of meditating on those walks, and they just come into your head sometimes when you don't think about it.
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes that can be the best
Definitely.
writing you do. Yeah.
I find walking is like the best thing for getting my creative juices flowing for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of influences and everything, who would you say some of your biggest piano influences, or not even piano, just musical influences throughout your career, or recent people that you've really been inspired by?
Man, it's hard. I find I have a wide range of influences. I've spent a lot of time. I mean, Stevie Wonder, I would say, like recently I've been trying to play a lot of, partly I'm in a group in school and we're playing Stevie Wonder music, and I've been digging back into it and learning a bunch of Stevie tunes. But man, I think especially as I've gotten older, I've tried to go back to kind of the stuff that I used to listen to growing up in my parents' house. And so I've been playing a lot of Simon & Garfunkel songs, or recently playing through that and playing through some Beatles tunes, playing some Stevie Wonder, some stuff that I maybe will listen to when I was younger. But as far as piano players, I mean, I think Martin Bejarano would be. I mean, I've been realizing more and more things that I do because I'm trying, probably somewhat subconsciously, because it's an imitation of some stuff that he does. And way less good, of course, because that guy's incredible. But Martin and but a bunch of other guys too. Michel Petrucciani, who's this French piano player, is a huge influence on me. Used to listen to a lot of Chick, especially, and I got back into Chick a couple months ago due to his unfortunate passing. But, I mean, and so many other names out there. I try and pull in a wide variety of genres and artists so I can have a bit of everything, maybe.
You got it. Yeah, you got all those influences in your playing, and it sounds like you though, which is great at the same time.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man. And I mean, it must be great to be his, Martin's TA now after him being such an influence on you. Now you're under his wing. He's taking you under his wing. He's making you his assistant. You're probably working alongside him a lot. How's that been?
It's been great, man. Martin is the man. I have nothing but good things to say about that guy as a musician, as a person. So it's been just great. Yeah, I mean, it's always good to spend time with him. And then just being, having a different, my role at Frost changed too. It's been interesting doing some teaching now, which has been a bit of a challenge, but I think I'm slowly but surely getting a little better at managing a classroom and coming up with curriculum and effectively explaining ideas to people, which has been cool.
Yeah.
It's been, like I said, it's a challenge. It's completely different from playing music. When somebody sits down and like, how do you do that? And there's certain things that you can easily be like, yeah, I just do it like this. But other stuff I've never thought about in my life. I started doing when I was young enough that I never really had to think about a process for teaching that to other people. So it's really had me kind of analyzing my past and how did I get to this and what was the path I used to learn how to do specific things, and then how do I explain that to somebody who may not be able to do it. So it's been a kind of a creative process, more so than I thought it would be.
Yeah, and you can learn, you can go back to the basics yourself too, and like, I didn't learn this. This is stuff I didn't learn when I was starting.
Definitely,
you can go back and drill yourself with that stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. The most nervous I've been recently is in my piano class, trying to demonstrate some of the really basic skills that I'm telling people that they need to learn, because I'm just not used to playing. I'm not used to playing it anymore, and so I'll sit down and I'll be like, yeah, this is how you do it, and then I have a moment a moment of terror where I realize, wait, maybe I can't do this quite as well as I thought I could. Yeah. And then of course I mess it up, but yeah, it's been fun though. It's been also good just to get to know some of the younger cats that are coming into Frost.
Sure.
A lot of amazing musicians and very great people, so it's been cool.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Before you guys, I mean, we might take a break before we start. Yeah, we're probably gonna take a break before, but just all this great music that you're playing. Are you gonna be recording or releasing any of this soon? Do you have any plans about that?
I have been. It's on the radar. I mean, school is so crazy right now, and I have a number of other recording projects coming up, including with actually Mikhailo. He's recording one of a bunch of his music. So I've got a lot of music. Mikhailo writes really amazing but difficult music. So I got some hours in the shed on that for that. But once school wraps up, I've been thinking a lot about putting some funds together and getting a group together and to record some of this music that I've written this semester.
Great, man.
So,
well, look out for Leo Folsom's music and releases, and also Mikhailo Kasha. We're not going to talk with him today, but he'll be back. He'll be back on this show. So we're going to take a brief pause. Thanks, Leo, for talking with me. Look forward to hearing some more music after the break. We're going to take a short pause. We'll be back in a few minutes on WDNA's 88.9 FM, the home of Serious Jazz. Yeah, welcome back. Quick turnaround to this week's edition of the Frost Jazz Hour right here on WDNA's 88.9 FM, the home of Serious Jazz. If you're just tuning in, we have the Leo Folsom Trio with us. They've played some great tunes already, and we got to talk to Leo. So go back to the beginning of the show and check out that stuff if you can on WDNA.org. So we're going to continue with some more music from the Leo Folsom Trio. And then we're going to have a special guest, Bram Masla, coming up. But Leo, what do you got for us first here in this set?
Yeah, so this next tune is a tune that I wrote called "Relief of the Fallen," and it just recently got updated. I wrote this one maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, and then last night it got a little update, a little facelift, and so we'll see how that facelift translates into us doing some sight reading. But I hope you enjoy this one. This one is a little bit of a different vibe from the previous two. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it.
All right. Yeah, man. Wow. Sight reading? I couldn't tell. Nice. What was the name of that one again, man?
That one is called Relief of the Fallen.
Relief of the Fawn. Yeah. That intro was really nice. I think you could keep doing that for like 10 minutes, man. Yeah, Brahm, I wanted to talk to you a little bit quick. You know, time flies, man. Crazy. But man, it's so good to see you. Man, you're back in Miami.
I'm back. What's up, man?
Oh, hanging in there. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. It feels good to be back. It's awesome. I've missed playing with, amazing musicians.
Yeah.
As you can probably see.
Yeah. Now, what's the feel like? I mean, you've been home for like over a year, right? I mean, ever since the pandemic started, you've been home since then, and you just got back. How does it feel to just be like you come back, you're right in it, and you're just playing gigs and you're doing this and that and playing with people?
Yeah, it feels amazing. It feels like a little like, holy, wow. I haven't like read music on a gig in a year. It's like, whoo. But it feels amazing. It's awesome. These guys make it easy, so that helps.
Yeah.
And it feels a little bit like when you wake up in the morning and you walk to the bathroom and then you splash water on your face and you're like, oh, now I'm up.
Mad refreshing.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I know before you were home for the pandemic, you also took some time off from school and you went on this adventure, traveled around the country, went on a kind of a road trip. What was that like? What were some takeaways, and how has that impacted your life now,
Yeah, good question. So I took a semester off school and went up to Western Canada, was kind of living alone and doing my thing. And it was kind of like an artistic retreat and also a spiritual retreat for me, just to get some time to process and, do my own thing. I think one big thing, we're talking about music. One big thing I think that trip really showed me was kind of the importance of selfhood, the importance of independence and believing in yourself and doing your own thing and developing your personality from, obviously you're always affected by your surroundings, but also having a strong core and developing a sense of security and confidence within that. And then it also, I think, because I went away and then I came back to Miami, and then I went away just now for about a year, and now I'm back in Miami. And I think one of the bigger things that kind of has been teaching me is the dichotomy and the duality of being self-contained, and also how amazing it is to spread that within other people and to share that with other people. So yeah, I think sometimes we can kind of get caught up in one or the other, and it's kind of those balances that are the real importance of, you have to maintain yourself and maintain that sense of integrity while also interacting with your surroundings, because they're both, super important.
Yeah.
So, coming back here, trying to connect with folks and play music with people and, have relationships with people and all that stuff feels super important. And also I think it's really important to be able to do that to your fullest potential. So I think that was something that it kind of taught me, is how important it is to have relationships with other people and connect with your community, because I was so alone for 6 months. I was literally just by myself. But also how important that is to develop that as well. So
yeah, that's great, man. Yeah, and I mean, it must be interesting because we let other people affect how we think about ourselves a lot of the time.
Right.
As far as you were talking about confidence, and you have to look within yourself and you got to love yourself first and not let everybody else's expectations affect yours and how you view yourself and everything. So I'm sure that time alone really helped with that. I mean, I'm pretty independent myself, so I get it. And I've had to teach myself, and it's still hard, it's a lifelong process,
Absolutely. And yeah, absolutely. And, yeah, That's
Yeah, yeah, bro.
You know.
I was also gonna just I love your usage of like these different textures and colors around the drums, man. Like you have a different setup, like a unique setup with those little tiny hi-hats.
Yeah, these little
and,
guys.
your usage of just like different, like your dynamic range is so huge. It's great the way you use it. You know, and you pace yourself throughout a song and all that. So I really, yeah, I mean, what inspired you to kind of like have this sort of different setup?
Yeah, well, actually, what inspired these guys was my favorite pair of hi-hats. I have these old Ks. You probably heard them. They're like the best hi-hats in the world ever.
Yeah.
And the bottom one has a crack in it. So for the past like 4 months, I was like, man, I can't use these hats anymore. And I've been going to different shops trying to get new hats just to use, and then, you know, I'll use those other hats whenever I can. But in the meantime, I've just been using these guys, and I kind of really dig the sound because it's different, but it still has some click. And
It does,
yeah, like you said, the dynamic range, especially these, and like this cymbal is super dry. These are actually really splashy, and they have like a lot of wash. So I don't know. I'm really into, you know, experimenting different parts of the kit, what you can get from different parts of the kit, because especially as jazz drummers, we're so used to this being the wash, and this kind of being the chop, and you know, how can you change it up and be creative, and yeah, it goes along with, I think, what I was getting at before. I don't know if I articulated well enough, but the authority to be yourself is really important. So I think I especially have trouble basing myself off of other people's judgments. So taking the authority to be creative, I always find that I'm happier and more creative and more inspired when I do that. When I just, you know, I see something amazing and I'm like, oh, cool. You know, let's go into that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for talking with me, man. It's nice to see you again. We're going to see a lot of Brahm here in Miami in the future. So I think we have probably time for only one more song, unfortunately, or, you know, or 2 short ones, whatever you guys want to do. But what do we have next, Leo? I'm excited to hear some other stuff.
Yeah, so this next one is, we'll try and do maybe 2 short ones, maybe we'll go 1.5. But so this next one that I have coming up is a ballad called Garden in the Sky, and I think just for my bandmates, we'll do Headed, and then like maybe a few like two 16 measures of solo, and then I'll cue back in on the B section.
Awesome.
B section is measure 19.
Beautiful. So before the last tune, before they play their last tune, just want to remind our viewers that upcoming next week on the Frost Jazz Hour, we have the piano trios class with Connor Rohrer first on piano, and then Ray McCurry with the rhythm section, Joe Enright and Patrick Levy. And then after that, we have the Eric Stern trio on April 22nd. So tune in for that. Yeah. But looking forward to hearing this last tune. Thank you all for staying here and tuning in. You've been hearing from Leo Folsom on the piano, Mikhailo Kash on bass, and Bram Massa on drums. So have a great rest of your day, and here's a little music to play out into the top of the hour.